Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar this afternoon. Hope you're having a nice week, a nice February already. Hope you had a nice January. And yeah, welcome to our vocabulary assignments webinar. I'm Flavia, and this is Amelia.
Hi, lovely to meet you guys.
Before we get started, we always do that, just a basic check to make sure that you can see the screen and you can hear us. So could you just please type hello on the chat? I'll wait a few seconds and then we can continue, just to make sure we're not talking and nobody can hear us.
Success, our first hello.
Brilliant. Okay, so seems like everything is going well. So let's get started with our webinar today. I wanted to say this is a recording as well. I mean, this is live, but it will be a recording. So the moment that we finish this presentation, YouTube automatically transforms the live presentation into a normal YouTube video. So if you have any colleagues that couldn't be here live, just send them the link, the same URL of YouTube. That will be the recording URL. So I just send it to them. And if you want to watch it again later on, you can also watch it with the same link that you used to join live. Second thing is that we'll be using the chat for any questions that you have or any suggestions or any comments. So just type away. You don't need to wait until the end of the presentation to ask us questions. As soon as you have a question or a suggestion or a comment, just type in the chat. Amelia and I will be keeping an eye on the chat and answering you as the questions come up. And I think that's it. Good. So just very quick introduction. I'm this one, and I am the head of education at Seneca. So I take care of everything that has to do with the content, educational content that goes on the platform, and also anything that has to do with like training teachers and helping them to develop. And Amelia, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Amelia. I'm part of our product team. So I work with the engineers and with teachers like yourselves to work out what are the best things we can build on the platform and then hopefully get them built.
Nice. Good. So this is our email, just Flavia@Seneca, Amelia@Seneca.io. If you have any questions afterwards, or if you want any extra tip, and I'll talk more about that later, if you have a glossary from your school that you would like us to add to the database of Seneca platform, just send it to us on those emails. But I'll tell you more about that later. Cool, yeah, so questions, comments on the chat. Webinar will remain available on the YouTube link. Good. So as you probably already know, Seneca already had several different types of assignments that you could set to your students on the platform. You could set assignments based on the content that we have created, on magic quizzes, which are AI-generated quizzes that you do based on your own content. And we also have exam questions with AI marking that you can also set to help them prepare for the CSC and A-level exams. But there was one thing missing, which was vocabulary assignments. So it was definitely missing because Amelia did a survey and more than half of the teachers who answered the survey said that the lack of vocabulary is the biggest barrier to learning English. And this is for English subject, but also for all non-English subjects, history, geography, everything else. You need to have a good vocabulary to be able to understand and access that content. So there's this little house here, which is all the way to reading comprehension. There are a lot of skills that students need to have. And one of the most basic ones that without that, you don't get to anything else is vocabulary. So if you don't have a good vocabulary, you can't get to the next stage, you can get to the next stage, and you cannot get to the final stage, and you basically cannot access the actual content of the subject. So vocabulary allows students to access and understand the information, build comprehension skills, and unlock other skills. So what we have created is a specific feature designed to expand the students' vocabulary, boost their literacy skills, and help them with the main content. So if you're an English teacher, of course, vocabulary is good on itself. Students need to use their vocabulary to read the text, to read the books, to understand them, and to answer the questions in the exam. But if you teach history or any other subject, students also need a good vocabulary to be able to understand the history and the geography, etc. And there's also the key terms, things that they really need to understand and also use in exams. If they don't use that specific words, they won't get the marks that they could be getting. So these are all the reasons why we have created this feature for you. So I will show you the feature, but just wanted to say that it is available now for all the English courses that we have on Seneca. So Key Stage 3, GCSE and A-level courses for English. If you have any of those in your classes, you are able to see the vocabulary feature. And if you're a history teacher, it is available for Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. We don't have it for A-levels just yet, but it's coming very soon. And just in the case there's somebody here who is not English or history, or if you have a colleague who is interested in trying as well, we also have some words available for religious studies, business, geography, and sciences. We are focusing on history and English and history at the moment, but we do have some of the other ones. They are already available as a sample on the platform. Good, so let's take a look while I switch my screen. Does anybody have any questions so far, or any comments or any suggestions? Just type on the chat. No? Good. So this is the teacher platform. You hopefully are already very familiar with what it looks like. You have your homepage, and then you have your classes, and you have your assignments. I'm not going to go through everything now. I just want to show you how to get to the vocabulary feature. The vocabulary feature, you will go to create an assignment. There are several ways to get to create an assignment, but this is one of them. So you click on create assignment. You pick the class that you want to set the assignment to. So all normal until then. And then you will see this extra one. It even says new. So these are the other ones that we already had. Like I mentioned, the normal assignments, the AI user-generated quizzes, and the exam questions. But now we have vocabulary as well. If you cannot see this option when you're setting an assignment, it's because you don't have one of the courses in your class. So if you cannot see this, you have to go back to your class and add one of the Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, Key Stage 5 English, or Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4 History, or one of the other ones that I mentioned before, and then you'll see the option. Good. So once you get here, then it's normal again. You select which course you want to do, as English language or any of them. And then you pick the words. So usually you would pick the sections of the course, the topic that you want to set to your students. Here you'll be picking the actual vocabulary that you want them to study. You can pick as many as you want. You can preview them. So if you want to see what is inside this one, you can click on the little eye, and then you have a little preview of the what it looks like. And then if you're happy with that, you just click on the ones that you want to set, and you go next. Another option that you have, because we have so many words, we have over 2,000 words. So of course, you're not going to be scrolling down forever here. You can just search directly here. What is something? Let's find a word here. So if you type, you'll find it. And another very cool thing that we have is the ability to select random words. So if you don't have a specific word that you want to teach, you just want them to work on their vocabulary, you can select random words here and add your own. Good. Then you go next, and then the rest is normal. Set a name, pick which students, start date, due date, create, all done. Before I show you more, there are some questions here.
Yeah, just a quick question from Elle about where to find the history GCSE ones. So I guess, would it be helpful just to show how to quickly add a course, Flavia? So yeah, just in case you can't see the vocab option.
Yeah, I can do that. So if you cannot see the vocab option, you have to add one of those courses to your class. So you're going to click on class, and then you pick the class that you want. And then you will go on courses and you're gonna click on add courses. And then you use either the filters here or you just search for things. And then you add the course that you want to. Into the CSC, for example, and history. And then not biology, just history. And then you click the ones that you want, add courses. And then once you go then to add an assignment, the option will be available for you.
Perfect, thanks, Flavia. And then we have one from Nelly asking about biology. Now, I believe we've tested a few biology words at the Key Stage 3 level. But obviously, that's bundled into science as the kind of umbrella at that stage in our courses. But obviously, every subject requires a slightly different approach. So we're just sort of fine-tuning some of those other subjects, whereas English and history are a bit more fine-tuned at the moment.
But our plan is to have that feature available for all subjects. We just want to make sure that it's optimized to what you need. But you can test it. So if you have Key Stage 3 sciences in your classes, or if you don't, you just want to do it for fun, you can test it. Any feedback, let us know. That will be very helpful. So I was saying the Edexcel are not showing. They should be. So I will check there. Let me show you what it looks like on the student platform. So don't lose the flow here, but then we can check the Edexcel again, but they definitely should be working. Maybe a matter of just refreshing the website so that it updates. But we'll get back to that. All right, so you have set the assignment, and then it looks like a normal assignment here. So you have your vocabulary assignment, for example, here. And then the way you see the report is the same thing, but instead of showing each topic, you see each word here, and then you see the students' performance progress here. Okay, so let me show you now what it looks like on the student side. So I have set myself previously an assignment. This is my student account now. And you can see that it will show up together with the normal assignments. So, for example, this one was an exam questions assignment, but you can see that it's just like another assignment. But instead of the topic, you have the word. So this assignment here is for history, Key Stage 3. This one is for English language. And this one I want to study, well, my teacher wants me to study advocate, antithesis, belligerent. And for history, amendment, colonialism, and empire. So let's see what those look like. As a student, I will click on Start Assignment. I'll show you the history one later on as well. Just start with English. I can see here that I have my assignments during 7 days, and I have those 3 words to learn. Continue assignment. The sections start with a little summary, as usual for Seneca. You have the word, the definition of the word, and then 3 example sentences using that word correctly. After that, students will be asked a few questions about that word to make sure they really master the meaning of that word. So they will be asked, for example, what is the correct definition of advocate? And it's a multiple choice question. So you will click, and then if you click wrong, they will get it wrong. If you click right, they will see you right. And then because this is an adaptive mode, like we have on Seneca, if they get something wrong, they will get the question again later on. So it really does adapt to your students. Then they will have a spelling question. So the idea here, we got that from a lot of interviews that Amelia did with teachers, that it was very important not only to understand the meaning of the word, but to be able to spell that word, otherwise you can't use it. So on this type of question, they literally just have to type the word to practice the spelling. Then we have a synonym word. So what is a synonym of advocate? Then we have an antonym word question. So what is an antonym of advocate? And then we have a application question. So they will see 4 sentences, and only one of them is correct. So 3 of them are using the word incorrectly, and one of them is using the word correctly, and they have to read the sentences. So we got this feedback from several teachers as well, that they really liked this question because it forced the students to really sit down and read. It's not something that they can just guess. They really have to read the sentences and get what usage is. And here, because I got that question wrong initially, I can see that question again. And in the end, I see my progress. So I have 83%, which is what you will see in your report as a teacher. Clap, clap, and continue to the next one. Any questions? I'll show you one example of history one. So I'll give you a few seconds to ask any questions. The main point of why we created this type of questions is that we wanted students to be able to spell them, to understand the meaning, and to apply that knowledge into a new sentence, so into a new context. That's why we have the spelling, the synonym, the definition, and the use questions. Anything else to add, Amelia, to this?
No, I think we nailed it.
Good. Cool. Right, so let's go to the history one as an example. It will look very similar if it's going to be history. So I'll click on that. Has anyone else lost the video before I continue?
I can still see Flavia, but I don't know if anyone else has an issue.
Don't worry if you've lost connection, because will be a recording. As soon as it's done, you can just watch it from any you lost connections, no problem. Right, so let's show an example of a history word. So amendment, for example. Let's do colonialism. Empire. Right, so empire, same idea. You have the word, you have the definition, and then you have example sentences. And then you have the definition of empire. So is it a small village with its local council, a type of government where citizens vote for leaders, a large building where people gather for events, or a group of countries ruled over by a single monarch? And then again, you have to spell. Get a couple of well done things. Then let's get it wrong. For example, the synonym, then you have an antonym. So what's an antonym of empire? And then you have usage in a sentence. So you have to read the sentences and pick the one that you correctly uses the word empire. And then because I got one question wrong, I can see that question again and give me a chance to really learn. It's not punishment. It's not just a test. It's actually a learning mechanism for your students. And in the end, I get my performance and the rest of the models, and I can continue with the next ones. I think that was mostly that I wanted to show. Let's see if people have any questions or comments or suggestions. Can wait a few seconds. And Amelia, if you have anything to add.
Just a quick one for Elle on the edXL history courses. I've just had a little look into it, and one of our engineers is going to fix it. So it should be sorted by the end of the day. So it will show up for your edXL GCSE courses very, very shortly. Apologies about that.
Perfect.
Just to note as well, if anyone doesn't have any questions but has any feedback, either now or a later point in time, this is a very new feature, very early on its time in Seneca. So any feedback is really, really important to us to help us make it better, make it more effective, make it more interesting. So yeah, Flavia shared our emails at the start, but I'll just pop them in the chat again. So if anyone has any comments, either now or at a later date, we'd love to hear them. It'd be invaluable to us to keep making this feature better. question coming from Elle. So firstly, thank you. Glad you think it's a good feature. Are we considering rolling it out for GCSE sociology? We're definitely wanting to roll it out wider, particularly amongst other humanities courses. We don't have a full rollout plan yet in terms of every subject. So just got another one from Sarah about biology similarly, but we are hoping to keep expanding that, and we will, if you're happy to, we can keep you updated about the release of new subjects as we go through them. So Flavia's just demoing here some of the science words that we've got, so across biology, chemistry and physics for Key Stage 3. So we've got some kind of starter words there, but there's more work we want to do on the feature just to make it optimized for the different subjects. Emily's just asked, oh sorry, go ahead, Flavia.
No, I just saw Emily's question. I was like, actually did not show there. We do have the Emily. That was my bad completely. This should be, so Emily is asking an option for students to practice different suffixes. Example, patriarchy, but then you have just like analogy or analogical. We do have that. We just don't have it for every word because not every word allows that. So like empire, I guess maybe you don't have that. So I just have to find one word that does have that. So just bear with me. I should have picked those better. I apologize for that.
I think GCSE has quite a lot of them, Flavia.
And let's just give it a go. So there you go. So, for example, which word completes the following sentences? So the word here that I want my students to learn is abrupt. But of course, you can have abruptly, abrupt, abruptness, and then each of them is a different class, is a verb, is a noun, etc. And then they are used in different ways. So here, which word completes the following sentence? The blank of this departure left everyone in shock. It would be the noun here. And which word completes the sentence? The meeting ended abruptly, as an adverb, when the fire alarm went off. So I showed that before. This is the latest feature we have added, actually, to the vocabulary. But yeah, we do have them. So Emily, there you go. That's exactly what we wanted to get them to practice, the different suffix, the different word classes, and how to transform, because then they're not only learning one word, they're actually learning 3 different words they can really apply when they are writing and producing text.
Absolutely. And yeah, a quick one from Kirsty. I like the idea, but can we select groups? For example, poetic terminology. This is a really great suggestion and a bit of feedback that we've got from a few other teachers as well. And it's definitely something we're going to be looking into doing. So hopefully quite soon you'll be able to select a kind of theme around which the vocabulary might be grouped. So yeah, poetic terminology or an inspector calls or a Christmas carol, and you can kind of get words that are specific to those texts. If you don't have your own word list that you'd like to follow your own glossary, we can kind of create mini glossaries for you, would be the aim. So fingers crossed, something that should be coming quite soon.
Thank you so much for the questions and the reminders to show you things that I forgot to show.
Great question from Sarah. Is this a free feature or only available on premium? This is completely free, so any teacher can access the vocab assignments free premium, and they're available for everyone.
Yeah, the only requirement is that you have one of the courses in your class. Good. Anybody, 20 more seconds for any final questions or comments or suggestions? And like I said before, so we have a list of over 2,000 words at the moment, but there's many more words than that in the word. So if your school has a glossary, like words that every student in your school or in your subject needs to learn, send that list to us, and we will ASAP add that list and add those definitions to the platform, and then you will be able to set those words to your students. So don't be shy, send us the glossaries and we will add them straight away. Great. So I think we'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us today. And again, just share this link with your colleagues that couldn't be here live. Any feedback, any suggestions, like Emily had a suggestion there. Luckily, we already had applied that. But if you have any other suggestions, just let us know. Feedback, glossaries, anything. We're happy to answer them.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.